never know what you're gonna feel. Oh, you never see it coming, suddenly it's real.
Oh, never even crossed my mind, no, that I would ever end up here tonight. Oh, things change when you don't expect them to. Yeah. Oh, no one knows what the future's gonna do. Never even noticed that you've been there all along. I can't take my eyes off of you. I know you feel the same way too.
Yeah,
I can't take my eyes off of you. All it took was one look for a dream come true. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh,
yeah, we got a good thing going on.
oh, right here is right where we belong.
You never really know what you might find.
Now all I
See, is
you and I, you're everything I never knew that I've been looking for.
I can't take my eyes off of you. I know you feel the same way too.
Yeah,
I can't take my eyes off of you. All it took was one look for a dream come true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
oh, yeah.
Oh, oh, oh.
So let the music play.
Can't take my eyes off of you.
feeling's getting stronger. And I never ever felt this way. Alright, I see everything in your eyes. Oh,
Alright, something's happening. 'Cause everyone's around, but you're the only one I see. I can't take my eyes off of you. I know you feel the same way too. Yeah, I can't take my eyes off of you. All it took was one look for a dream come true. I can't take my eyes off of you.